Hello, and welcome to another video on the Wheel of the Year teachings. Today we are going to talk about Ostara, or spring equinox, as it is the first day of spring. During this time, or Ostara, we embrace the idea of the birth of new things, ideas, projects, anything having to do with wonder and joy and inspiration. The earth is slowly waking from her slumber, and because of that, things start to green, things start to come alive, they sprout, they take root, and they fly. So that's why you'll even see the birds will start to fly back. You'll start to see the trees budding, the flowers starting to green. Everything is coming alive. That means that things that were dormant, that were left in the dark, that may have been sleeping as part of the winter slumber, are stirring. There's a stirring, there's a movement going under the surface. We also look at this time as being ruled by or governed by the Goddess of Fertility. We have a couple goddesses of fertility. We have Ostara, E-O-S-T-R-E. She's a Saxon goddess of fertility. And we have Ostara, which is pretty much what we know as a part of the Wheel of the Year. And she is a German goddess of fertility. You can also think of the green woman as well as the green man. So you're seeing that this is a time of rejuvenation, even a time of gestation, right? So you have fertility. This is a great time to be thinking about what are the seeds you want to plant. This is also where we find, and we're well known with the eggs, all different color eggs, eggs with magical symbols, eggs with words. This is once again another symbol of fertility and planting seeds. I also have our lovely little bunny here because the bunny also represents fertility, because we know that when bunnies give birth, they have a lot of bunnies and they go and they are running all around, and they are a wonderful sign of spring, awakening and elevating to who we really are. The other thing that we can think of when we think of spring equinox is the balance. So typically this is another time of the year, just like we have the fall equinox and we have the spring equinox, where we are balancing, or the balance of the day and the night become balanced. And so we look at that as, what does it mean for us in our lives? Where are we balancing the dark? Where are we balancing the light? I have a couple things that I'd like to read from my book here. I have spoken from this book before. This is a old, I say it's an old book, but I started it about 20 years ago, and I just keep filling it up every single time I can with new information having to do with the Wheel of the Year. Because the more we connect with the Wheel of the Year, the seasons, the cycles, the more that we are able to connect with the earth. Remember what it's like to be here, make the changes that we need, and understand who we really are at the heart of why we are here as a whole. So I'm just going to share a couple things that I have written down here. So the vernal equinox is the festival of trees. It's celebrated on the first day of spring, and it's the birth of new things, ideas, projects, and green energy. So once again, we see a lot of green energy for birth, growth, possibilities, unlimited. Some of the gemstones that are actually associated with Ostara is amethyst, aquamarine, bloodstone, and red jasper. We can also think of different types of deities or stories having to do with spring equinox. So we're very familiar with Gaia, right? Mother Earth herself. So we start to feel very connected to Gaia, to the earth herself, the earth mother. We also remember the story of Demeter and Persephone, so if that's something that you want to look into. And then, of course, there's the Corn Mother. And even though the Corn Mother has more of her roots and more of her staying power in the fall, she still is a mother, and we still look at planting seeds that are going to come up in the fall, and so therefore we call on the Corn Mother. There is some incense as well, African violets, jasmine, or we'll say scents in general, rose, sage, and strawberry. Obviously, decorations of eggs, colored and painted with magical symbols to symbolize fertility, and a lucky rabbit's foot, an amulet of some sort, a green and yellow jelly bean. There are foods that we can eat to always honor the spring equinox. And so we think of hard-boiled eggs to symbolize fertility as well. Honey cakes, the first fruits of the season, perhaps an asparagus or two as well. So these are some things that we can consider doing when we are working with the spring equinox energy. Think of fresh, new, innocence, and frolicking and wonder. Where is that green energy going to work in your life? Where do you need that little bit of inspiration? What I've done here is I have pulled a couple cards to remind us and hold ourselves accountable for this time of the year. One of them is Ancient Wisdom, and this is from my Inner Alchemy Oracle card deck, and I will put a link in the comments in case you would like to purchase them. When I was putting together this Ancient Wisdom card, I kept thinking about spring, the innocence and new beginnings, the frolicking, the wonder, and the playfulness of the deer that start to come to life, of a child who is maybe sick and tired of being stuck in the house during the winter and now able to go outside and play. There's a playfulness with spring. It also reminds me of the Wonder card. Again, that innocence, wondering, what is this world about? Where are my dreams gonna take me? Where am I gonna go? How do I make a difference? And how do I have fun doing so? See how the little girl is looking up at the bubbles? Possibilities. And then, of course, we always think of the phoenix during this time. The phoenix rises from the ashes, never ever the same again. What a card, what a opportunity for us to take everything that we know, everything that we've done, and turn it into something new and beautiful and worthy. So I want you to think about, what are some dreams that you've been incubating? What are some ideas that have been flitting around? Do they have wings now to be able to ascend or go to the next level? What are the seeds that you are going to plant? And what ways are you going to get what you believe is so important in your heart out into the world? Your message, your inspiration, your passion. You may find yourself wanting to paint more or dance more or move more. These are all symbols and significant that the Saxon goddess of fertility and the German goddess of fertility, Ostara and Ostara, are working in your life. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Ostara as part of the Wheel of the Year. Many, many blessings and blessed be.